I know, huh? Who it is, who that guy is. No, good morning, everyone. It's just great to be here. So, hello to everyone here. Hello to everyone on ACI and Gathering, and people who may be watching this through the live stream, and of course, people who may watch this later on YouTube. So I'm always just very fascinated of all the different technology where people can actually pay attention to listen to the course wherever they are at, and I think that's is such a wonderful thing regarding that aspect of it. I also just want to give a special thank you to Reverend Tony, because Reverend Tony has been doing an amazing job the last couple of months of speaking every Sunday, because usually Reverend Peter and myself gives him a break, once in a while, but because of our softball season this season, and I didn't do a very good job of scheduling properly, we have not been here as much of Sundays as usual. So Reverend Tony, thank you for continuing to do that. So I really appreciate that. So thank you. And it's really good to be here. You don't realize, at least for me, of how much you miss, being in a spiritual place with individuals who get and understand, what we, go through, and yet having a spiritual, practice that helps us get out of it, and to have, really, really like-minded, individuals, like that, regarding you, and it's definitely shown and definitely has manifested of how much I missed it, because my talk today is regarding grievances, and the fact is that we live in this world where there are a lot of grievances. It's just it's part of the society that we live in. No matter what it is, something's going to come up for us, and grievances is about something that we feel like we've been unfairly just. That's really what it is about. We feel like someone's doing something to us or said something to us, and so we're just feeling like, okay, wait a minute, that doesn't feel right. I feel for it, and so we hold on to these grievances to, in essence, feeling like we're actually, giving it, putting it, on them, let them know that we're upset with you and all that, and all that. But we're in reality, we're actually hurting ourselves, because we're actually the ones who are actually holding on to it. They're not really affected by how it's impacting us. It's really us that we're where it affects. And so that really made me really think and recognize what's been going on with me lately, because I have been stuck way too much in my ego mind, holding on to grievances, to the point where it has prevented me for moving forward on things that I need to get accomplished, that I need to get done, that is putting me behind where it was not necessary, but because I've been so stuck on different things that's been going on in my life, that I've been holding on to it, it hasn't allowed me to release that and to be able to move forward on that. And so, as usual, I always turn it over to the Spirit, and so that's why the Spirit is like, listen, you need to talk about this. You need to process and figure out what is it that is holding you back for moving on and getting stuck on it. And I've had a lot of grievances lately, way too many to go over today in like 20 minutes. But it has impacted me. It has infected me in ways that I never thought possible, of really experiencing the amount of energy that it takes out of you, to the point where it's just, you just don't know what to do anymore. You just feel that feeling of so overwhelmed, and just too much happening in your mind, and just it's been a challenging experience for me to go through that and to recognize it. And I know, and I'm very fortunate to know that I have the course to help me shift that, to help me change, to see things differently, but yet for some strange reason I wanted to stay stuck in my ego mind. I wanted to no, I gotta hold on to this. These people are not treating me fairly. They're not doing this right. It is not okay. And it just kept going on and on and on, and then realized it's not getting me anywhere. It's not getting me anywhere whatsoever to stay stuck and in that frame of mind. And so it just really, really been a tough thing. And so I'm going to touch upon a couple of things that have been happening, recently. As I said, it's not enough time to go over all the grievances that I've been that I've been feeling lately, but there are a couple of them that's been very, prevalent in my life right now, and that has, impacted me in ways that I just want to, just talk a little bit about today. And so the course tells us this: you who were created by love, like itself, can hold no grievances and know yourself. To hold a grievance is to forget who you are. To hold a grievance is to forget who you are. The Course never ceases to amaze me of how powerful statements are for us to recognize that when we're holding on to that, we're forgetting who we are. We are all created out of love. We all is about love. But when we're in that mindset, we're not there, and we forget that. And for me, it manifested, as I said, in different situations. And the first situation that it manifested has to do with my dissertation. As most of the people here know, that I'm close to getting done with finishing up my doctorate in clinical psychology, and part of that you have to do is a dissertation. And so, for me, my dissertation is looking at if internalized racism among black gay men is a cofactor for HIV risk. So that's what I'm looking at for my dissertation. So my dissertation chair approved it. They thought it was a great topic, and that I got all the information that I needed to move forward. And so I decided to do a qualitative study, a narrative, which is taking the time to actually interview people, because I felt for me it was important to hear their stories. Yes, I can do all the literature research that I needed to do, all the paper reading and all that stuff, but I want to hear from their experience. I want to get it from them to find out what's going on with them and how it's impacting them regarding, internalized racism, and how it impacts the choices they make, specifically regarding, HIV risk. And so that's what I wanted to do, and so that's what I, chose. And so when you do decide to, interview people, you have to go through this human review committee. So they have to, you have to submit everything to them, and then they have to prove whether, yes, it's okay to go ahead and interview these individuals, these people. And so I'm like, okay, fine. It's a process that you have to, go through. And so I, did that. And to be honest, it has been one of the most nightmarish, frustrating experience that I've had to go through. It is just, it just got me to the point where I literally had to write an email to the chair of saying, you do not understand anything about racism, you don't understand about HIV, and you people are supposed to be doctorate level professors who very clear does not understand concept of a lot of things. And it was just so hard to continue to go through that process, because whatever I submitted, they kept giving me something back, to correct it. And so then I realized that I had to take a step back, because all that was doing is delaying my process of getting things done that I needed to get done. Because I had set up in my mind of a timeline of when I wanted to get, certain things done, and I was feeling like they were holding me back because of their constant, in my mind, of understanding that they weren't getting me. They were not understanding what I was doing. One of the things that they wanted me to do is to, switch it to high risk. And that I was doing a high risk, study, because I was talking about racism and all that stuff. And I'm just like, well, this is my community. I know what my community can or cannot handle. And so you're telling me that I need to change this because you guys are having your own issue, regarding it. It has nothing to do with me. And so it was like those things that was, coming up for me, regarding that aspect of it. So, so that was one thing, that happened. And so, and then the other thing where the grievances was, impacting me was, I decided to go back. I corrected it. made the changes that they wanted me to, make, on this, on my, dissertation. And then they come back and said, you needed to have a list of resources. So I listed the resources where people can go to if something comes up for them through our interview process. So I listed, the Department of Public Health, Behavioral Service, Mental Health Services, as to somewhere where I can, refer them to if something comes up for them. And so then they come back and say, well, you need to list an actual psychologist with their license and stuff on there. And so then I responded back and was like saying, so are you telling me that the Department of Public Health, Mental Health Service is not a viable resource to send someone? And so it was just those type of things that was just upsetting me and getting me more and more frustrated, with them, that was preventing me from, moving forward on, doing what I felt that I needed to do to, get this, done. And so then the course reminds me of this. To hold a grievance is to see yourself as a body. It is the decision to let the ego rule your mind and to condemn the body to death. It is the decision to let the ego rule your mind. So even though, they were probably doing their part, but I was so in my ego. I was feeling so much that I was being unfairly treated, feeling like they're really not getting and understanding what this is about. The truth of the matter is, they was just doing their part to make sure that everything went well, to make sure that people that I was interviewing are protected. That's all they were doing. They were doing their part. But yet, for me, because I got it so much into my ego, I felt that they were trying to prevent me from doing what I felt that was very important. And when I think about it and I reflect upon it, it was a lot of waste of energy that I did not need to put out. That all I needed to do was to let it go, trust in the process, and move forward. And then when I did that, they did approve it. I made the little changes that they, wanted. I explained the reasons why I did certain things, and then they were like, okay. And they, approved it. To the point where I finished this week my last interview for my, so I'm very, very, excited, about that. So now I can go to the next level of transcribing and doing all the analysis and all that stuff. But the thing is, this could have happened a while back ago if I would have just followed the script that was happening instead of allowing myself to feel that I was being unfairly justice. That's how powerful grievances does. It prevents us from doing things that we know that, wait a minute here, just do it. Just do it. And so it was a huge lesson for me, regarding that aspect of it. And the other thing that's been going on for me that's been monopolying my mind a lot this week that I've been holding on to has to do with my, internship, which I love the work that I'm doing, working, where I'm working at. But then yet I'm realizing more and more is some of the policies that are set at the agency, but then also the American Psychological Association, feeling like they're doing a lot of disservice to the people to who we are seeing. It's like they are so strict that you have to be in such a certain frame where we're allowing people to open up, to be able to trust us, to allow themselves to be vulnerable, for us to support them in any way that we possibly can. And then when certain things happen, then they tell you, well, you can't do anything. You have to step back and let someone else do it. And I'm like, and that is happening with me right now with one of my clients. And I'm feeling like this individual, we've done incredible work, and they want me to be involved, but I can't be involved because of the role of the policies that you guys have set. It's just not right. and it's just been so frustrating and hard to be able to sit there, to be able to not do anything, and knowing that this individual wants to interact with me still, even though in a situation which I can't go into details about, regarding it. And it's just, I'm still processing it. I still have a lot of anger towards them. I still feel, like they are not helping a population that they are supposed to. But I'm learning how to turn it over. I'm learning how to trust that the Holy Spirit will help me see it differently and help me find a different way where I can potentially, help this individual. May not be in a context of where the policies is set, even though I don't agree with the policy and feel like it's doing a lot of disservice to the community that we're working on. And then, of course, reminds me of this. Perhaps you do not fully realize just what holding grievances does to your awareness. It seems to split you off from your source and make you unlike him. Perhaps you do not yet fully realize just what holding grievances does to your awareness. And that's what it is. It doesn't allow me, when I'm in that state of mind, to see the big picture, to see what is it that not just my role is, but what is the role of others and how they play in it, and being able to look at that with an open mind and understanding that and knowing that, when I'm turning it over to the Spirit, the answer will come of what I'm supposed to do. It will guide me in the right direction. But the thing for me, I just have to let go of all those grievances that I continue to hold on to, instead of letting it manifest to the point where I'm not being helpful. I'm not being helpful to myself, and I'm not being helpful to the client because I'm staying stuck, in there. And so recognizing that and being able to grasp that and understand that. And then the other final situation that I want to touch upon real quick has to do with, my softball league. As a lot of you know, I'm the commissioner of the San Francisco Gay Softball League, and a lot of things comes up, and a lot of people complain about a lot of different things. And it is one particular, individual that in essence, let's just say I have not had a lot of nice thoughts about this individual. It has been very hard. It monopolized my mind so much this week to the point where I don't want to speak to this individual. But I understand and know in my role, I have to speak to this individual because that's my role as commissioner. But I know and I recognize, because of what my appearance of how they are presenting themselves and how much is affecting me, me feeling like they're attacking me, attacking my league, me feeling like they're judging me and judging, my league. It's like all these insecurities are coming up because of what energy continues to bring to me, and I've been holding on to that. I've been letting that, affect me, instead of taking the moment and recognizing and understanding that, what? I am a person who has an amazing spiritual practice that helps me deal with situations like that, to help me not feel attacked, help me not feel judged, but yet take the moment to listen, to hear where they're coming from. And then when I respond from what the Spirit wants me to respond, and not from what my ego wants me to respond. And I'm going to have to do that today, because later on today I'm meeting with this individual, and so I am going to have a conversation, with them, and I just have to remember what my role is and understand that. Because as the Course reminds us, love holds no grievances. It holds no grievances. So when I am in that grievance, when I'm in that space, I'm not extending love to them. I am not seeing them for who they are, which we all are, which is holy child of God. And that's what I have to remember. And that's what I have to do today when I meet with this individual. And then next week when I have to meet with numerous of people, regarding that. And just reminding myself that they are loved, and that love holds no grievances. That's what I have to keep in mind. And it is as sure that those who hold grievances will suffer guilt as it is certain that those who forgive will find peace. We will find peace when we allow ourselves to let go of our grievances Because the truth of the matter is, the grievances affect us. It impacts us. We're the one who stays stuck. I stayed stuck all this time, which was not necessary, and now I'm learning how to let it go. And that's my talk.